Greetings, Commanders! Welcome to a space race, aka Galactic Battle video. I've done a few Galactic Battle videos in the past during like live streams. I would talk about the rules and stuff, but I've been getting a lot of requests about just doing the generics and what this space race is about. So, Galactic Battle, Space Race, the Chinese translator turns Galactic Battle into Space Race, so that's why you see it used interchangeably sometimes. Anyway. Okay, let's talk about the Galactic Battle. We'll start from the beginning. We'll start with the history. So we're in Season 4 right now. You can always check the condition of the Galactic Battle by clicking this little icon on the right over here where there's a 1. And currently we are in a Galactic Battle, which I'll be joining shortly. And it tells you who our opponent is and how much time remains. At the end of that timer, whoever has the most points wins, unless the enemy destroys your stronghold. We'll get to that in a little bit. Now, in the ranking system, you can find the prizes, and you can find the TV. These are the live games. You can join in and watch them right now. Can I join in and watch a game right now? Oh, I didn't realize if you're in one, you can also go join them and see. It looks like Vera's playing right now. Anyway, these are the defending champs from Seasons 1, 2, and 3. And you can go in and you can talk to them in the world chat over here and interact with people as you like. But essentially, this is the map. It is top versus bottom. You could see it kind of just like is a nice tight little rectangle. So on the top is your side or your opponent's side, and on the bottom is oh, there's Dio. Anyway, and on the bottom is the other team side. They have a main base here, and they have 2 proximity bases here. The whole point of the game is to oh, and there's a fog of war across the middle of the map where you can only see people on your side, and people on the other side can only see people on their side. And the whole point is to get into fights and outscore your opponent, and you can get bonus points by holding a stronghold, or by straight winning the game by just holding their base for 2 hours. Yeah, so that's what it takes. There are a lot of other tricks you can use, like if there's 2 hours left and you have a serious point lead, you can just leave the game as long as you have a serious point lead, because in the new Space Race rules, Galactic Battle Season 4, you get points every 10 minutes, and I think it's 2,100 points per, or sorry, it's 100 points per arc level per 10 minutes. Unless you're arc haul 21, you get the 100 plus your arc haul level plus a bonus 400. So a level 20 arc will get 2,000 every 10 minutes. A level 21 arc will get 2,500 every 10 minutes. It's roughly about that. And that just gets perpetually added on over and over and over as time goes on. It never increases or decreases. It's just your arc haul times 100, plus 400 if you're level 21. So yeah, going into the Galactic Battle, let's talk about that. So before you ever enter the Galactic Battle, you need to set some things up. I call it the warming up part, where you basically go to your commanders and say, okay, these are my fighting commanders, right? Rogers, I use him for attacking garrisons or attacking strongholds. He's a difficult commander to beat if I trigger enough dodges. Hoodoo, if you recently watched my Pocket Hoodoo video, you know you can get a lot of value out of Hoodoo. And I also use him as a garrison, as my fort defender on my own arc, because when I autofill with him, he's only got 1,000 leadership, so I don't have to overcommit too many troops. Because in the new rules, you don't have to only use Rangers. You do get a fair amount of points to kind of mix it up and use different troops, so it's not too punishing if you lose a fight. But yeah, of course, there's my main commander, who I'll use to hit arcs and hit really hard. There's my weenie. If you haven't seen the weenie video, that's probably the most important video to see before a Galactic Battle. You need to have a level 1 or low-level commander, level 13, to just constantly send at your enemies. Your enemies need to be inundated by scouts and attacks, so that they can't properly sort through their mail to find out what's actually coming for them, because they will counter your march if they're invading your side. If they're invading your side, you better believe that they are changing their garrison to finally find a way to score on you. Now, scout them, anticipate what they're going to change to, and when you do send fast to counter their march when you scout them. But we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, and then I also have Plasma. So these are my main fighters, right? Bullet, Plasma, Hoodoo, and then occasionally I'll throw Rogers in, but definitely my weenie. Then I put the gear on him. For your weenie gear, if you just watch the video, basically it's Gemini, accuracy, basic damage gear. He's only going to use Rangers. He's not even really meant to win fights, but if he does win a fight, it's against other Rangers and he won't level up too much. Essentially, his job is to buy you time. and distract your opponents. And we'll talk about buying time when we get to attacking strongholds, which we probably won't cover in this video. We're going to try and keep this one relatively short for new players that are just trying to get a feel for it, because most advanced players that have been in the GBs already know all this stuff. So anyway, set all your gear right for your commanders. Anticipate how you're going to use your commanders. If you have a new gear setup or new gem setup you want to try out, make sure you do that now, because once the battle starts, it gets very distracting. Okay, so you take those, and then maybe you set your garrison, right? So for me, I'm going to set Rangers in the back row for that extra damage against other Rangers, and then also a tier suppression march in the front. So one unit of tier 10 just to protect my arc, to make sure I don't get beat by just like a Ranger march or something. They have to actually send points. And it's plasma, so I'll probably score unless it's airships or something. So I may include a black hole sometimes. It depends who the opponent is. So when I join the Galactic battle, if I instantly get hit, at least I'll have some kind of defense there. So that's how I start that. And then I go to power-ups. This is probably the most important thing. Go to your power-ups, go to war, and start using your 8-hour buffs. I've already clicked mine, but set the 8-hour buffs. These last for 8 hours. You have tons of them. You get them from guild gifts all the time. This is when you have to use them. Definitely use them. So go in, pop all your guild buffs, double check your med bay. Your med bay needs to be empty, otherwise you can't enter the Galactic battle. And make sure you have no commanders out on tiles, otherwise you can't enter the Galactic battle. And then take a look at the timer. Double check guild chat to make sure nothing crazy is going on, like people are jumping around zeroing people. Like for me, I could see Prado's back, 105 million power. He wasn't playing around. Okay, so I know that he's back. I've got my garrison set. I've got my buff set. The last thing to do is to change my hull, but I'm currently using the lobster hull, which is the one I want to use for bullet. But because I have plasma garrisoned, I'll go ahead and put that hull on, because that's the best for plasma. And then I will jump into the Galactic battle, just like that. We already have a huge point lead. We're up by 20 million, which is why I have the luxury of just making this video. You can see the points by clicking that there and see who scored the most. And you can see on the opponent's side. But what you can't see is how many points they've given away. So that's unfortunate. But anyway, all right, let's jump in. So immediately, I get dropped into my alliance's side. And I believe we are on the top. And what you want to do is, these are kind of more advanced tactics, not necessarily you need to do, just something most people like to do is they like to protect their garrison. You'll see there's a capital here, a stronghold, and another stronghold over here. People like to surround those just kind of as like a deterrent, because if someone does decide to invade your base, they may not come slowly. They might not do the move, right? Because the move takes 30 seconds to go to one space on my side. When I invade the enemy side, it's a lot slower. They may just opt to pay the 1,000 gold and jump over. And people will do that, especially at higher levels. You should expect it. And they will jump right to you and try to hit your arc and zero you. Because unlike the kill event weekend, if you massacre somebody in Galactic battle, they get points. Unless it's Rangers. Rangers don't get points, but everything else does. So you do not want to have a small... Something I want to talk about that I didn't mention yet is the space station. So during the Galactic battle, you have the opportunity to trade in your kills for, well, your kills turn into sand. We call it sand. It looks like a pawn in chess, but basically it's, right now I have 3.8 million, which is the equivalent of 3.8 million Ranger kills. So even though Rangers don't give points, they do give sand, which you can use for buffs. The buffs used to be 5 minutes. That was ridiculous. Now they're 30 minutes. They just cost 10 times as much, or 6 times as much. I don't know. They cost more. So 50,000 will buy you 30 minutes of increased healing speed for your troops, which is very nice. Commander cure speed by 100%, which is very nice. It lowers my commander cure speed from 550 gold to 400 gold. It's pretty good. It's not a total 50 or 100%, but whatever. It adds up to the other multipliers I have. That's why. There is the marching speed 50%, which is very nice, which stacks with your hull and your buff. So you can get 150% in here. On your side, you even get another bonus, so it's really fast, so you can attack even quicker, so they can't change their garrison up or make them move faster. Arc movement speed, the actual speed of your ship going from one tile to another. And then integral gain up, which means points. Whenever you kill something that's worth 100 points, if you have this buff on, you get 150 points. So that's a must-have when the combat starts. And then, of course, there's a soldier defense up, which seems like a weird buff, but, Ranger versus Ranger fights, having 50% bonus defense is nice. So just a nice buff to have. Unfortunately, at the high level, most commanders are over 100,000. So once you fight a few times with the Rangers, you have enough you know, dust for the rest of the match. But yeah, I just, you know, make sure I put them on for usually an hour if I have plenty, and just come back and check them every once in a while. All right, and if you're watching this video and you made it this far, and you have already seen the Pocket Hoodoo video, Hoodoo is a commander that you don't need high leadership, just high skills and some luck to get some legendary replays. So I had myself garrisoned, and I was trying to catch a big march, and I was so close. This is why having the difference between level 30 and level 40 skills can sometimes mean the world. So check this out. This guy sends a huge march. Huge. And I have in its front row there's Rangers at the third slot. And then I hit the Awakening. Here comes the Awakening. Not enough. If I would have killed that slot, I would have destroyed probably 300 tier 10 airships and probably 160 of those tier 11 walkers. So, got to get back to the drawing board, level up my skills, level up my gear. I don't want to make Hoodoo skill much higher because I was able to quickly choose that march in like 4 seconds. If he had too much leadership, I'd have to change the march. It's hard to anticipate that. So that could have been legendary, guys. But, you know, you see a lot of cool stuff on this channel. There's a lot of almost really cool stuff that doesn't make it. So that's one of them. Anyway, back to the content. All Ranger count. If you do lose troops in the Galactic battle, while you're in this arena, all of your healing is free. You don't have to pay resources for it, but you do have to pay time. And what time means is literally hours. And if you want to speed it up, you can use the normal speed ups like we always have. But, you know, depending on the troops you use, it does get costly. So for me, I got tons of speed ups because I use Rangers. I don't use high tier very often. So I got plenty of it. Most people, most new accounts won't have this amount of speed ups. But don't get discouraged. And don't waste all your speed ups early on. You know, this is more of an experimental thing, but I want to just say this now that you've kind of got the gist of how this works. You enter in the battle, it's your side versus their side. You got 2 capitals and a base. They got 2 capitals and a base. It lasts for 12 hours. Who can outscore the other? You basically send garrisons to one guy and you reinforce him. And you can, if you don't want to send anything big, send your weenie commander because they heal instantly. There you go. He's got something. He can go play. And that'll help beat, like, you know, just a small black hole march or whatever people send to try to break down the opponent. The more you garrison your allies, the better it is. The more chances they have to anticipate marches and counter-strike their marches. But, you know, that's kind of how that works. Now, right now, it's like we have a huge point lead. We are technically, by all rights, we should be defending. Make them come to us. They need to anticipate. We need to... we don't need to gain points, they do, so we don't have to do anything. They have to come to us, and what they'll do, oh, what is this? I'm getting scouted? Alright, well, in the middle of this, I guess we're going to be getting some action here. We don't have the right hull on for this kind of action, but that's okay. We'll switch it up while we do this. Now, what I'm doing is this guy's coming to our side, and it's not always the best thing to hit a ship, but if I do successfully win this fight, I do get 1,000 points, but sometimes it's nice to let them come into your side a little bit more, let them garrison up a little bit and see if you can score more points on them. It's just kind of more fun that way. As much as this is a war game and this is a high, you know, a high-level competition, it is a bit of fun, right? You know, you do talk in the world chat, you get to say hello. You know, it's a good way to interact and meet new players. That's how a lot of the community was formed, just by talking in Galactic Battle World Chat. So let's say hello. For the live stream, for the video. And then we'll do our call sign emoji. And we'll see if anyone wants to say hi to us. So, anyway, the World Chat does let you talk to the other guild and any other players that do join and watch in. And then as time goes on, as I said, you're gaining points. And I like to say that your points... are kind of yours, right? If you're there and your ship is in danger, you've earned those points to kind of take risks and try out different marches, and try out different troop setups you think might work for you, or different commander skills you want to work on. And it looks like we attacked that guy. We hit him pretty good. Oh, someone's coming. And oh, he's going to be really sad because my tier suppression march will destroy that. Yeah. He did he really run into that? Yeah, he did. Wow, that was fun. Anyway, so that guy made a huge mistake there. He killed my Rangers in the back, but he didn't beat my tier 10 in the front. That was weird. Anyway, okay. So what else do we have to talk about? You know, that pretty much covers the basics of getting into the battle and sorting yourselves out. The only other thing I'll say is that there's a meta now in the 4th season where it invites a lot of players to join. The more players, the more residual points you gain just by being here. And they usually will hide all the baby arcs on the back. So when it's time to come 0 arcs, you just go to the back row and find all the AFK or baby arcs. You don't want to get caught AFK because your enemies can see the other side if they have alternate accounts or people talking to them or whatever. Oh, look at this. Looks like they're attacking us. So anyway, I've obviously got some work to do. Our bases are being attacked, so I will get back to that now. But that pretty much covers the gist of it. That's a first look, you know. That's the Galactic battle. Maybe we'll do some advanced stuff later, advanced tactics, switching out armies and troops. There is a lot of high-level fun stuff you can do. But I want to reiterate that people that say this is a waste or it's not fun or it's slow or it's boring, it is one of the funnest things to do in the game. If you're not sure, become the lead ship. Tell your buddies, garrison me, I'm going in, and pick their side of the field and start marching in. And you'll start getting scouted, and they'll start sending attacks at you. And you'll go to your ship and go, okay, I'm getting attacked by a big march. I'm going to lose no matter what. Maybe I'll change my garrison to a 1-slot bust, or maybe I'll change my garrison to a full plasma march because they're sending a full whatever march, you know. It's just a lot of anticipation, and they'll have marching speed on. They'll have their buffs on. You'll have your buffs on. You only get a few seconds to change it out. So it'll get your heart racing. It's a lot of fun. And I recommend you guys do it as soon as you can. The only other thing I didn't talk about that I wanted to mention was that only the top guilds can do it. The older your server is, the more guilds can join. We have like 4 guilds on our server that compete because we are one of the older ones. I think the newer servers only get 1 or 2. But if you're a small guild and you join a GB, don't get discouraged if you get teamed up, you get someone way bigger than you. Introduce yourselves. Say hello. If there's something you want to try, just say it in world chat. They know if they can beat you. They know if they can go over there and dominate you. But just because they're bigger than you doesn't necessarily mean you can't outscore them. And because they can't easily just jump around and zero people, it costs a lot of gold. Just because they can't doesn't mean they will. So if you give them a real competitive game, it gets a lot funner for you. You become a lot better of a player. You learn how to attack strongholds better because the rules for attacking these are the same as back on your server. The whole, like, once you defend the first time, you have first strike, but once you successfully defend once, you no longer have first strike. You have to be in there for 2 minutes, but if you warp, it auto-pulls you out. Just all those things. We'll explore those in a later video, but you'll learn a lot of that. So if you're not sure about it, definitely give it a try. It's a lot of fun. And, yeah, so we'll call this part 1. All right? We'll see you on the next one. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to join us on Line, Line is a social app. You can add me, Melt AOW, and I'll put you in one of the Arc of War chats we have. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you. So thanks for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.